Hi, I've incorporated this barn that I did the other day on one of the videos. I've just altered the building slightly. I just want to do it again. It's a cob and thatch barn, I believe. It's a typical Devon view. I've just put these buildings in, but I've just put them in as farm buildings really, with a different background. I'm just experimenting with this one. I've put my camcorder on the long play, which might affect the quality of the picture, but it's taking so long to download or upload onto YouTube the videos made with a standard play that I'm going to just see if it makes that much of a difference. So I've got my usual palette, lemon yellow. Where are we? Right, lemon yellow, raw sienna, alizarin crimson, light red, ultramarine, burnt umber and Payne's grey, and a dirty filthy palette. Right, 3 brushes I'll probably use, well 2 certainly. The 2-inch hake, 1 inch, the 3/4 rig, number 3 rigger, and this little 1/2 inch acrylic brush made by Devon. This is Fabriano 15 inches by 11 inches watercolour paper, £130 weight. It's good enough for wet in wet, what we're using it for. It's got quite a smooth surface. It's smoother than I would really like, but it comes in such convenient packs of 100 sheets at a good price that for the demonstrations it's worth doing. But if you can afford it and you're very confident, you know all the types of papers you can use, like Arches, which is very rough, or can be very rough and go up to £300–400 weight, which is absolutely superb. But you've got to know what you're doing really. Right, okay, we've got this thatched cob covered building. That's not quite right there. That would come down further there. Let's rub that out a bit. Handy to have one of these putty rubbers around. As you can see, things that wall should be further down, so we'll just alter that a little bit. Just rub it out, no more with rubber. So that'll be going away from it. That'll come down to about there, and the cob bar roof will be coming down there, over there. Thatch roof, and that will be nice shadowed in there. So I'll put a bit of a tree behind that, probably. Right, okay. I'll wet the paper all over when I put my putty rubber back to look after these things because they go missing in my studio. Alright, so we'll wet the paper all over with cleanish paper, or I better cover my computer. I'm uploading one to YouTube at the moment. Right, wet all over. Blah, 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 blah. This way the paper gets nice and damp. It tends to keep the paint soft rather than in hard edges, and as it expands we can reclip it as we go. I'll just check that that's all covered. Right, with raw sienna in the sky. Really go for it with your skies, just they all dry up lighter. Go all the way over. And I'm going to put a bit of red in there. Bit of alizarin. Right, I'm going to find my towel. You need a piece of cloth to dry your brush. Take the excess water off because it gets everywhere with this hake. It holds an enormous amount of water. My the type clouds are made from ultramarine and light red. Just a little bit coming down there. And we can put a bit of blue in there if we want. As it comes down, just let it come down to the bottom, but getting less intense. Because all your the deep sky is overhead, the deep blues, but as you get to the horizon it sort of washes out. It gets nearer to the raw sienna colour. Right, that's expanded already, so let's just put it out tight. And I can put a bit of background colour, let's keep it nice and bright. You need a bit of water on your brush, not too much, but a bit of alizarin, a bit of blue, a bit of light red. Let's just put some background stuff in there. And here, I'll go over a lot of this. Let's go around the houses there. Apart from here, I'm going to put some over there. Up there. And when I go over that with the green and stuff, it'll look as if it's behind rather than in front. I'll just make it a little bit heavier. Not too insipid. Right, now I'm mixing a bit of yellow in with there. For green on top of that, heavy. I'll etch into this in a moment with my finger. As we get to the depth of this woody area, go into the heavier stuff. Nice. Bit of burnt umber mixed in with the blue. Bring the hairs together, just by touching it in the water and bring it back together. And we can just go in with some light touches there. Do the same, bit of green over these. Come down to the edge of the barn. And there. Put some twigs and trunks and things, branches. Nice dark green in there. Bit of shadowy yellow in there. Right, just got some grasses going in there. Nice and lemon yellow, getting lighter. They're coming into the light. Bit of raw sienna. Just coming up into the barn. There's a track coming here. I'll do that in a minute. Let's get some darker bits in there. Trying to do this quick. Well, quick for me means about half an hour. Stephen Cronin managed to do these in 15 minutes, but I'm afraid I'm not that slick yet. I do it with oils, but these are watercolour demos, and so what I do want to do. Right, catching some light here. That's. Put the path in a minute when this is all dry. Changing the colours a bit. Sort of mixed all in really, just to add a bit of interest to it all, if that's the right word. Right. Clean the brush. Now a good half colour is light red, bit of ultramarine, fairly dry brush, dry linen cloth. Fine, I can texture over that afterwards. I'm just etching some not too much, but alright, I'll start the barn now. So a bit of a burnt umber, old thatch, burnt umber, quite light. Oops, what was that? Light on the top. And get a bit darker as we come down. Still a bit wet this, underneath, which is good, it'll stop it from going too hard edged. Now a bit of green on there, I think, for a bit of moss. Shadows can go in later. Oops. Shadow. Should have cleaned the brush up a bit better. That hasn't registered. I meant to do that as a shadow colour, but there was still a little brown in the brush. But let's just tap under there, because uneven, it's going away from a little bit. If you get the perspective, but that will come down just to show the shape of the roof coming over. And well, slightly pinky, but very, very light. Into that bit of, so with the thatch, it's sort of mud covered with some sort of dun render and coloured, and then you get a bit of dry brush over to show the yellow is the dun colour underneath, and the pink outside is just what remains of the stucco. So we've got more shadow on this here. A bit light, I mean a bit dark. So just check that down there. More darker yellow in there, a bit lighter yellow. I'm going to put some doors in here. And just detail a little bit of shadow. To show the edge of some of this, where it's just trying to give the impression that it's peeled off and it's casting a little bit of shadow, a bit of dirt. Oh, as that dries, that'll be right. Now a bit of a slate roof, the next one. So we'll have that a bit blue. Leave a slight gap between the ridge and same as around the thatch. Just leave a little bit of white showing, and then we'll have down there. Then probably let's have some red roof there. very bit of brown, but fairly slack, fairly loose. Let's get some colour on that too, so we'll have a bit of pink there as well, I think. Just slightly off white. I'll put some detail over this. Maybe go a bit darker around the corner there in the shadow side. I think that's about dry. I can put a bit of detail on there now. Dark blue and red. Bit of hit and miss. Door there. Oh, that's it. No great detail in any of this. Chimney stack, raw sienna, bit of red, bit of all the browns. Bricks. Light's coming from the overhead really. So we'll just put a bit of light on the other side of that. I lost it there, didn't I? A little bit. Showing some weathering. I'm not using blacks or greys in this, I'm making them all up from the blues and reds and the yellow. Right, let's just get that bit of shadow under there. Shadow there. Shadow under there. All helps the composition. Right, I'll give that a bit of a dry. I don't know how that's coming on. Call it evening light or something. Now I'm going to put a bit of dry brush on this path here and see what happens. Let's just come over and let's get that there. Bit of burnt umber, a bit of ultramarine. I just want dark. Where's the bigger gone? Show some ruts. going to put a bit of branches in there. Just a little bit stark there. Alright, put some in there. Just look at it. No, it's not too bad. I'm not really used to doing loads of buildings in watercolour. As you know, I've only been back at watercolours for 6 months, having left it alone for many years in favour of the more serious media, oils and acrylic. I'll give that dry. I'm going to put a bit of a fence, I think, across it. We were in and around Chichester Harbour area last week with our trailer, and loads of photographs. Lovely, lovely area. We went into a gallery in Chichester, who this week I believe are exhibiting work by Sherry Valentine Danes, and the person in the shop reckons she's Britain's #1 selling artist. I'm not sure if that's true. She probably sells a lot more than Damien Hirst, but he sells for millions. But she used to demonstrate for Carl Shorten Wellington Art Group in my early days as a member of that club, and I saw her a couple of times. She's a wonderful painter. If you get a chance to see her work, or Google Sherry Valentine Danes. She used to be on BBC television painting Test match cricket. She was like the resident artist, and she was absolutely wonderful. So I'm very pleased for her. I'd love to have seen that exhibition. I've seen her work in a number of galleries. And it's worth looking out for. Great impressionist painter. Well, I'll just put it up. Bit of a fence across there. Against the dark. It might show. Only doing just a suggestion of a fence. I'm not. I think you really need to do it a bit darker than I've got it here. But no matter. Let's put a figure on the scene. We'll have a figure here. He's had a hard day, isn't it? Shadow. Well, let's give him another leg. Right, walking home after a hard day weeding. Right, I'll give that a signature, then I'll have a look at it, see if it's worth uploading. But it's just a simple rural scene, Devon, made up from a bit of a composite of a barn I did the other day, this one here, from a different angle, and I've just bung these things in here. I'll put it in a mount now and see what it looks like. Always a good thing to do. I think it's doing the simple things well, really. No, I'm not sure what that is, but there you go. One Devon landscape with a figure. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed that. Bye bye.